Welcome to this week's What's for Dinner video. My name is Ashley. I'm going to be showing you 3 different meals I made this past week. I don't always follow recipes exactly, but if you're interested, I've linked some similar recipes down below. There was no video last week because that was my baby shower weekend and it was just a very hectic weekend. So I've probably got a couple more videos out of me before I give birth. The first dinner I'm going to be showing you, I made some chicken tortilla soup. It was a very rainy period in California, so soup just sounded amazing. I'm just starting off with some corn tortillas. I like to cut them up into strips, add a little bit of oil and salt, and then just bake them in the oven and make them nice and crispy. You definitely need to watch them when you put them in the oven because they can go from like not even crispy to black in like 1 minute. For my soup, my base, I'm starting out with just some enchilada sauce. I like the old Pesto red enchilada sauce for my tortilla soup, and then I'm going to add a couple cups of water, kind of do however much soup you want, and then I equal it out with the amount of chicken bouillon. While I am working on this, I do have a couple chicken breasts cooking in my Instant Pot to shred and add later. I'm just going to work on seasoning my soup base with some cumin, chili powder, onion powder. Next, I'm going to add 1 full can of black beans and 1 can of corn. I'm just working on bringing this all up to a really nice boil. I'm going to add in some fresh lime juice. I added a couple halves of lime. I really do love lime juice. I am definitely starting to taste test and kind of adding whatever else I think it needs. I am adding just a little bit of a cornstarch slurry just to thicken it just a bit, not much at all. It's still going to be a very runny soup. Finally, I'm adding in all my shredded chicken. I believe this is just 2 large chicken breasts shredded up. I just added that to the boiling soup. That way it can kind of soften it a little bit more and shred it up. So basically, to get the most flavor, you just want to let this sit. I let this simmer for about half an hour longer and then served it with some fresh jalapeno, cheese, avocado, and some of the tortilla strips. This was so good. The next dinner I'm going to be showing you, I made some Cajun chicken orzo, and this was so delicious. I cannot wait to make this again. I'm just starting out with my chicken breast. I just seasoned chicken breasts with some Cajun seasoning, and I'm just going to cook this on a skillet with a little bit of olive oil until they are all the way cooked through. I would say I cook it for maybe 4 minutes on the one side. Once it is nice and brown on the other side, I like to flip it. I always keep my pan on about medium heat. Once I flip them, I like to put the lid on it. I just feel like it helps keep the chicken nice and juicy and all of the moisture inside. Once the chicken is done, I just remove it to a clean cutting board and then I leave all of the bits and the juice in the pan. I'm going to start working on the sauce for the orzo, so I'm just adding in a nice amount of butter to this, kind of scraping up everything on the pan. This is all flavor, and then I'm of course going to season with some more Cajun seasoning. I'm also going to add in a little bit of garlic powder. Next, I'm adding in half a box of orzo. If you want plenty, I definitely suggest making the whole box of orzo. I'm just going to make sure to get all of the orzo nice and covered in the buttery sauce. I'm going to add in a couple cups of water. I wasn't totally sure because I've never made orzo or actually made anything like this. I would say just a good amount to cook the pasta, kind of similar to rice. I'm just going to stir that around, bring it up to a boil, and then throw the lid on it and kind of turn it down to a low simmer. Once most of the liquid has been absorbed, I'm going to add my heavy whipping cream to make this a creamy Cajun orzo, and then I'm going to add in some Parmesan cheese as well. I also definitely kept adding more Cajun seasoning. I love Cajun seasoning and it was making it a little spicy. While I was finishing up the orzo, I just cooked some fresh veggies in the oven, and this is how everything looked when it was done. I just served the Cajun chicken on top of the orzo. I seriously cannot wait to eat this again. The last dinner I'm going to be showing you, we made some pesto chicken sandwiches on these yummy ciabatta rolls. If you want to make this a little bit more filling, definitely serve some fries or something else on the side, but we weren't super hungry, so the sandwich was just fine. I'm just going to work on chopping up my veggies for the sandwich. I'm just cutting up some red onion. I did wash some lettuce and then cut up some avocado. I also made some pesto mayo for the sandwiches, so we literally just took some mayo in a small bowl and added in some pesto. I love pesto mayo. Next, I'm just going to make the chicken for the sandwiches because I'm only making 2 sandwiches. I'm just going to use 1 large chicken breast and butterfly that in half. We like kind of thinner pieces of chicken, so I'm going to add some plastic wrap on top and use my mallet to kind of flatten them out. I absolutely love my mallet. I don't know how I lived without one. Once that is done, I'm just going to season with some adobo everything seasoning and then my New Orleans Cajun seasoning as always. Before I cook the chicken, I'm going to prep my sandwiches, so I'm just taking these ciabatta rolls and cutting them in half, and then I'm going to spoon that pesto mayo on top and spread it all out. I then put this in the oven, like the toaster oven, and just toasted them while I cooked the chicken. So lastly, I'm just going to cook the chicken in my pan so it is nice and fresh for the sandwiches. I'm just going to cook it on medium heat until everything is all the way cooked through. Lastly, I'm just going to top the chicken with a slice of pepper jack cheese and let this melt down. This is how everything looked when it was done. The sandwich was so good. We love pesto chicken sandwiches. Thank you so much for watching this week's What's for Dinner video. Make sure you come back next week for another one.